Leisure Line Stove Company presents the Leisure Line Stoves Video Information Series. Created to provide our valued customers with expert advice, techniques, and information on the care and maintenance of their Leisure Line stoves, furnaces, and boilers.
It's Matt with Leisure Line again, bringing you another one of our videos on how to work on your stove. Today we're going to talk about adjusting your power vent. The power vent assembly, which is simulated here on the bench, is very important to the draft of your stove. And obviously if it's not set up right, your draft will not be correct. One of the first things that needs to be done is to check where the weight is in relation to the mounting of the barometric damper. The weight on the right scale will be set up for a vertical install, and as you can see, we're horizontal here. So the first thing we're going to do is remove this knob, pull out the stud that it screws onto, and swap it over to the other side. The knob has a side with a hole in it versus one where the threads are flush. The hole will go over the screw so that it clears a little square part on the carriage. The next thing is there's going to be curved lines or else just numbers, and you're going to set it up so that on this case we have a curved line and the edge of the knob is right on the 4. So we're set up for 0.04 inches of water draft. If you're going to be measuring your draft, always measure it on the stove side of the barometric damper. On this side here, that reading doesn't mean anything. So the next thing after we get the knob in the right place is we want to loosen the screw that pinches the barometric damper, and we need a level for this. If you don't have one, you can get one at the hardware store for a couple dollars. These cheap ones are just fine. And what we're going to do is we're going to line up the pin that this rotates on and make sure that it's level. In this case we're a little off, so we're going to see which way we have to go. We have to rotate it just a little bit this direction, and then we're going to check it again. Well, we're pretty good. So the next step will be to tighten down the screw that pinches the assembly onto the barometric damper. Okay, so now we're set and ready to go. In this case I don't have a stove here, so I've just put a restriction in the pipe so that I can get draft. The rheostat control, when it's turned all the way to the clockwise direction, is the minimum speed for the power vent. Turned all the way to the counterclockwise will be the maximum speed. Now when you're adjusting this when the stove is idling, it's going to be possibly not enough draft for later, so you're going to always need to try and adjust this with a full fire. And what you want to do is you want to make sure that this barometric damper door is at least open part way. You don't want it all the way shut like this. You want it to be flapping a little bit. Obviously, if you have it turned all the way up and that's all the way open, you're taking a lot of room air and sending it outside, and that's kind of wasteful. So what we're going to do in this case is turn it down so we just have a small amount of movement and it's not all the way closed. If for some reason you can't get this to turn slow enough, what you'll want to do is turn this off, and to be safe, unplug it, and inside the back of this rheostat there is an adjustment screw which will allow you to change the speed of the power vent. So we're going to take these screws out. And once you have the cover off and you're sure it's safe, you can see the wires have nuts covering them. So we're going to go ahead and plug this back in. Now you can see on the side of the rheostat there is a small screw. Now you'll need a very small screwdriver to turn that. Something along the lines of this. So what can happen is you turn that to the all the way minimum position if it's not going slow enough, and you can turn this screw and you can hear the power vent speeding up. If you turn it the other way, it'll slow down. So in that way you can get it tuned to the right speed. Right now, you can see we're just fluttering. So when you're done with that, turn the power vent off, unplug it, put the cover back on, reinstall the screw, and you're done with your adjustments. If later on, after the power vent's been operating for a while, you need to retune that can be done at any time. And remember, make sure that when your pipe is installed to the stove that you have screws in all the joints so that things don't move around. Thank you for watching. That concludes our video for today.
To find your closest dealer of American-made Leisure Line stoves, furnaces, and boilers, or view additional videos, visit www.leisureline.stoves.com.